The traditional advice has always been that when you get to this priming stage, let's say you're going along and you're priming your brass, all right? If you get one where the primer just practically falls into the pocket, you should mark that one. And as you can see, I actually have one here that I have marked. Basically, put some blue ink around it. And the next time after it's been fired, you basically toss that piece of brass because the primer pocket is getting too loose. Well, there's a way before you even get to the priming stage that you can detect these, okay? And this just involves your reloading process. If you uniform the primer pockets of your brass before you go and prime them, I know I uniform mine every single time. Just it also gets the dirt out of them, really. And let's say your tool just falls in like that, okay? That is too loose, okay? Now here's a couple that I have. These actually have tight primer pockets. As you can see, my tool, I have to push that thing on there. I have to pull it off again. Once again, I'll show you another tight one. So these right here, these are nice and tight. These right here, I selected out of this whole batch here. They've only been fired once, but as you can see, the primer pockets are already too large. So I'm not even going to bother priming those because I already know that they're going to be too big to hold a primer. Now, what's too big? This is probably up for debate, but like, here's a primer that I selected. I'm just going to measure it for you here. And this comes in at 0.211. Alright. Now, if I measure my actual tool here, see the diameter of this. Alright, 0.2065. So, 3.5 thousandths of tension is what's going to be on the primer if this tool goes in hard. Okay. Actually, maybe a little more than that. Might be like 4.5 thousandths. If it just pops right on there, just like that does, okay, then that primer, if I loaded it in there, it's going to have less than 3 thousandths of tension on it, and that's not enough. Alright, so this is just kind of an easy way to, before you even get to priming, determine whether or not the pockets have expanded too much and it's time to toss that brass. This is a good safety check. It's something you should always be aware of. This is another tool. This is a redding tool, and if I measure this, this is actually a tad bit smaller. It's 0.205 1/2. So I know that like if this goes in hard, which it does, then those primer pockets are going to be plenty tight enough to hold on to that primer.